Hello, folks. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for y'all to grab y'all popcorns, put y'all TVs up, and have a seat and enjoy the show. If you like the video, please like the video. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to us and leave a comment down below on topics you want us to touch up. We got our boy B-Dow in the middle and our boy Z. Take it off to the topic for today.
All right, guys. So I want to start with talking about preferences, right? So, like, when it comes to a preference, how far does that preference go as far as like what you're willing, like, not willing to back down for?
Like, what do you mean?
So, like, let's say you prefer peanut butter more than jelly.
Oh, I do. I don't put that much jelly on my peanut butter and jelly.
But would you
force that on?
Would you like impose that will and like say like, oh no, you're stupid, or like would you like?
No, no.
Yeah.
So,
I like what I like, and then you would like what you like.
Yeah, I don't care. You know, it's what I like. You ain't me. I ain't you. I'm me.
You build different.
Unless it's just something completely stupid, like I like to
pouring the milk before a cereal.
Again, preferences, right, guys? So I'm one of those oddballs that pours the milk before the cereal, only when we have little cereal left, because you don't want to be soggy. But again, when we come back to those preferences, my main point is that preferences matter. Like you're gonna like what you're gonna like, whether that be women, whether that be food, sports, relations, however you kind of see preferences. But today's angle is, are you for or against cancel culture?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm against it. Just like how they go about things. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm for it, just not how they go about things. Like if you don't like what you said, it's a preference. Cancel culture. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Just don't choose for me.
Mm-hmm. That's the main point.
Yeah, don't pick for me. Let me decide on what I like. Just because you don't like it, don't mean I don't like it. It's because it's not funny for you. It's still funny for me.
Yeah, you feel that way too?
Yeah, feel that way. Yeah, because like what I said before, I like what I like, you like what you like, and what you were saying, imposing. Like, it's just let people be.
Okay. I mean, for me, again, I would also agree that I am against cancel culture. Again, it points out the delivery of cancel culture is kind of like what leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Because like it's kind of like the Me Too movement, which again I fully support the Me Too movement. Because again, those are victims, those are people who feel like they've been harmed, but they just kind of want to bring awareness to the incident. They don't necessarily want to get rid of anybody, they just want to like make sure there's awareness. So that's why I would say the delivery sucks, but the message is kind of being blurred and underlined,
like it gets lost in the delivery.
Yeah. So I think that is the interesting part. But when we talk about, when you're saying like people are like putting their opinions on you or telling you have to think this way, why does that seem like your biggest concern, Love?
Wait, what?
Like you were saying, like you don't want people to choose for you. Like, what about that makes you like, what the hell?
Because it's like now, like, I've been getting crap for the past week because, like, I'm not a Bucks fan, I'm a Lakers fan. I will cheer for the Bucks, but I'm gonna cheer for my boys before I cheer for my whole time team, right? And y'all know that Kyrie and KD, those are my boys. Like, those are like literally my favorite players in the league right now, and they just so happen to play the Bucks. I did what everybody did. I talk shit, I talk that shit.
You talked a lot of shit.
Yeah, but and then everybody wants to give me crap like, oh, you a weirdo, you cheering against your city. I'm like, you're the weirdo. You weren't a fan like a couple years ago. So what do you mean? So, and then I'll get in arguments with them, and I'm like, who's this? Who's like, I'm naming old Bucks players. Who's this? Not even like 30 years ago. I'm naming like 8 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm like, who's the guy that said Bucks and 6? Nobody's know. Brandon Jennings. He's the GOAT. I'm getting a Jennings jersey. But yeah, So it's like, and then it's like choosing that for me. It's crazy. It's like they want you to. Everybody wants to be in a bandwagon. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't want to be in that bandwagon. If I'm on the wagon already, cool. If I'm on the wagon, let me be on the wagon. But if I'm not, don't force me on the wagon. Let me do the research on my own. And guess what? I'm finally with y'all. I'll cheer for the Bucks for y'all, but it ain't looking too good.
Yeah, and I feel that. And I think that's where a lot of the issues lie with when we come back to bandwagon. That's like a lot of the different like conversations. Because again, for me, sports in general have never been like oh my God, I thrive off of sports. Like I've never had a favorite sports team. I've had favorite players,
Exactly.
you know, as they fluctuate, but I've never had a favorite sports team. I've never really ever cheered for a team. I was like, I want a good game. I need good defense. I need good offense. And even like if I see a really good defensive player, a really good offensive player, I'm like, ooh, that was good defense, better like, you know, like, because that's what excites me. But I think, yeah, again, when you talk about these false flagging bandwagon fans who are only here because Giannis is here, is when they break. Because I mean, you know, just kind of give you a little like premise of what I've seen this week. Because again, I haven't got any hate because I don't cheer for anybody. But I've seen oh my God, Chris Middleton, you know, went off in this game and he did everything he needed to do to get this contract. And then the next game, you know, he's lights out.
They want to cancel him.
Yeah, like they're like, wait, he did
trash,
what?
garbage.
And I mean, he got memed with like a 0-0-0 like stat line with 28 minutes, and he was like, yeah, look at all that money we earning right there. So it's like, it's people kind of like going more with their like heart and kind of like.
I think my problem with cancel culture is a lot of flip flopness. You know, like you're for it and then you're not for it if somebody brings in attention for you, like to you, like if we bring up like the whole let's bring up the whole R. Kelly situation, you know.
Okay.
So people aren't like people don't want to fuck with him anymore because of the whole lawsuits and shit, right? And then you go against, I'm not gonna even drop names anybody else, but like you got all these other artists, right, that does like horrible shit too. I'm not like to like R. Kelly stands, but it's some bad shit, you know, like domestic violence. That's horrible. They don't cancel them, you know. They're still fucking with that, and it's like, how do you? I'm talking about like not as a group, like this group mess with this and this group mess with this. I'm talking like this group will fuck with this person, but then not fuck with this person for the same thing, and that's like flip floppiness, and I don't like that.
Like you should stick with your point no matter what.
Yeah, like if I don't like you for not liking cheese, if I don't like you for not liking cheese, and I meet somebody else and I like him even though he don't like cheese, that's
like, what up?
Yeah, it don't make sense.
That means you got bad standards.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
that means, because it's like, again, when you hold somebody accountable for something, like again when we bring up the R. Kelly thing, you mentioned, don't forget the dollar sign. you mentioned like separating the work from the actions, and I think that is kind of powerful. And when we think about, you know, music in general or even sports, like overall, there's been a lot of people who have done some real fucked up shit, like just some like out of the box. You didn't expect it. You were like, they did what to who, how, when, and you know, we still have people like in an uproar because that's what people do. They like to like, you know, shout and, you know, get into it. And I think that's a little bit of mob mentality. So when we're looking at the lens of mob mentality, how do you guys feel it's affecting, you know, sports?
Like I feel like the mob mentality makes people change even though they didn't like look at it themselves.
Some people are followers.
Yeah, because like they have a mob and they just game people like, oh okay, yeah, and then it's just bring it all on one person and just like, oh, all these people think it, then it must be right.
Yeah.
So something like that, like it's just, well, no, they can all just be following this one person, but you didn't do any research, you didn't look at it yourself. So it's like they look at the most people that think about it or have an opinion, they think that's the right way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the mob mentality is for me.
Okay. Yeah, because when I'm thinking about it, I always go back to like the GOAT debate. Like, who's the GOAT, LeBron or Jordan?
It just depends what era you're talking about, man. Who you grew up with.
Yeah, a lot of that happens, but it's just like when you think about, right, Jordan's completely done, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like right now, LeBron is playing was playing his ass off because he's not playing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But we're still in like good LeBron time, and there's so many people like looking to hate and looking to like to bash every little like mistake he does.
They gonna miss him when he's gone.
Yeah, and it's like
They gonna miss him when he's gone.
When he's gone, we're gonna have a who, you know, like who's gonna be like the next like.
They
LeBron.
already setting up KD to be the next sacrificial lamb.
Sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, so it sucks that it's like I read earlier in the week, it was talking about how most like sports analysts and judges like have never actually done the sport, but yet they have the most to say about it.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. You know, if you don't to have like an opinion on something, I feel like you should have experience with it. You know, like just say somebody is a horrible athlete, a horrible actor, a horrible business person, but you don't do any of that stuff. It's like, who in your right mind knows like
what's your credibility?
Yeah. It's just that's like me saying. Like, cause I don't wrestle. That's like me, bro. You are an ass wrestler. You suck. I don't care what anybody does. You suck at it. And then, but I never had a wrestling match a day in my life.
Never even went to practice.
How would you feel? How would you feel?
I mean, I feel kind of like these athletes. And the reason why like I brought that up is because it's like when you think about, okay, we'll think about Paul George, right? Because I like to make jokes like, oh, he's pandemic P. He's like all this, but like there's so many and like. This week he got called polyester P.
Oh.
Because like they was like, oh, when like the heat tensions, he like freezes up and shrinks in the moments and whatnot. And so it's like when you think about the people who make the NBA, the percentage of people on this earth that make the NBA, not the people that play basketball, the NBA. Like he is in the upper echelon of those athletic people.
He's elite. You can't call him trash. Like,
yeah.
Because you can't do the things he does.
I'm like a guy that's riding the bench. You can't call him trash because even though he's riding the bench, he's still balling with these superstars in practice. He's there for practice.
And he's still on the team.
Yeah, he's still on the team. He plays against these star players. He's not trash. If he was trash, he wouldn't be in that seat. I promise you.
Yeah, and so this is where I would say like coming correct with the right terminology is the best way. Because again, like if you feel like somebody's trash, like again you're not gonna think about it in the moment. You're like, oh, he's trash, he's garbage. But then it's like sometimes when it comes back to cancel culture, that comes back and bite you, right? Like, so it's like if you say something in your past and you're like, oh, I didn't really mean that, but you put it out there for the world to see.
It's too late.
People find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
they're always gonna have records on it.
Like you're the next on the chopping block to be canceled because you said something that someone else found offensive.
I'm the worst friend ever. Like you say something one way like 3 years ago, and you say something differently, I will find that and I'll call you out on it.
He will scroll through.
I will find it on your timeline.
Yep, the hair.
Yeah, he said he'll never do that after I did it, and he did it.
So, I mean, guys, when it comes to being intentional, I think it's being intentional with your thought process. And again, when it comes back to if you don't like something, if you like that don't sit right with me, there's a difference. If you don't like something, okay, it's just totally you. But if something doesn't sit right with you, you can voice your opinion. You can let it be heard. But it's like if you just don't like something, you're not feeling it. Okay, take your ass to bed. Like go to sleep. Because like again, those are your opinions. Your opinions can be respected, but you can't disrespect my even process of how I deal with situations because you want to impose your feelings on me.
The one thing I feel like that sucks about cancel culture is like. In like the creative industry, like let's say the movie and TV industry, right? Like, so I feel like sometimes people just don't like a specific director or a specific actor, and they'll like just attack it. Like, oh, that's trash. Attack it. Cool, keep that to yourself, but like, or voice your opinion. Cool, but just why do you have to have a mob mentality of you should go kill yourself or it's just horrible. You shouldn't say stuff like that. You should like go get hit by a car. Like that's just like unnecessary. It's who are you to say that to somebody? It's just fucked.
Yeah, that removes the human aspect of it.
Yeah, now you're just attacking them. You're not even attacking them for what they're doing. Like if they're an artist or music, you're not even attacking them for their music. I'm attacking them for their acting. It's just attacking them because you just want them to die. Like that's just attacking them to attack them. There's nothing behind that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think being a celebrity, but being a celebrity as far as athletic, movies, music, whatever, as long as you're, a celebrity, I think that, they deal with kind of the worst of it because when you think about trolls are one thing, but like trying to get canceled and trying to like, get, blackballed or like blacklisted, like that's something that's serious that can like literally ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for example, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion came out like maybe a couple months ago, and the OG, on Viv, the black one, the dark skinned one, was like, "You ruined like my career," because he said she was difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like,
Well, I don't. That's what happened to Wesley Snipes too. Like people say he's difficult to work with, and like he didn't show up in movies for a while.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is, you know, like people gotta like know how to control themselves and like really like balance the movies. But let's go with you know, obviously because comedians have that role of they can do whatever is funny, right? Because like they're the most honest people on the planet, because as long as you laugh, they can say whatever the fuck they want. Because I mean, there's all type of humor. There's dark humor, there's light humor, there's racial humor, whatever. So when it comes to you know, white chicks versus Tropical Thunder, to give you guys a little like summary of it, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., played a black man in Tropical Thunder, and in White Chicks, the Wayne brothers played white girls. Robert Downey Jr. was gonna be, or was trying to get canceled for this role he played a long time ago, and he did well. Like he did this role extremely well. There was nothing that was like malicious in his, like, you know, playing blackface. And I think people took it in the wrong way, like now, because they're like, oh yeah, no, he played blackface, so you know he's our next target. Because we would have no Iron Man. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah, imagine like them taking down all the Iron Man movies and saying they don't
Like,
count.
That means all the Iron Man movies, all the Avengers movies.
Every movie Iron Man was in, they just took it out. Like that's wild.
Yeah, so I think that's interesting. So like, what do you guys think? Like
as a black man, were you offended?
I was not. Like I said, I said that he did the role well. Tropical Thunder was like, it was a nice movie.
He about to get attacked in the comments. Who are you to speak for the whole community?
Yeah, you know, I'm speaking for myself. Sorry, community, if you guys feel any type of way.
Leave a comment down below.
But again, this is what we have to do now. We have to, like, you know, apologize before we say something. It's kind of like that no offense, but you finna get real offensive.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, you know, he played a really good black man in that movie.
Horrible thing to say.
Although, you know, he's white. But like when we go against, you know, white chicks, right? You know, obviously in the beginning of the movie, you have two black guys. They kind of like, you know, put on like, you know, faces, literally.
Like masks.
Like to become white chicks, and I mean they were strong.
Hey,
and like
they played their role good too.
Yeah, and I mean
funny.
I didn't see anyone have a problem with that, because they were funny, and I think that's where like the line borders, because people got to laugh, because people you know, like they got so much out of it, that I think that's where it's like, are you going to cancel every time someone like crosses the line?
And
Like if you're gonna do that, like with this stuff, if you have to keep up the cancel, you have to do that. If you're gonna be with cancel culture or something like that, you can't just let some stuff slide.
yeah, you can't come at RDJ and not come at the Wayne brothers. It just doesn't make sense. But hey, to the Wayne brothers and RDJ, y'all played the roles great. I liked it. I shouldn't be speaking. I'm about to get attacked. I'm sorry. It was funny.
I found it hilarious.
You know, both roles, you know, deserve credit, because, you know, you guys played it to a T. It was really well. So congrats on that, cancel culture. You guys are, you know, y'all need some help. I need some help.
And I'm pretty sure while they were playing those roles, you know how actors always talk about like, oh, when I get into character, I do my research. Like I have people on the side off set to help me.
Like almost like method acting.
Yeah, to give me like ideas. So I'm pretty sure RDJ had like a black man helping him playing that role.
Oh, for sure.
And the Wayne brothers had white girls.
chicks.
White girls helping them play that role. You know, they didn't just come out like the top of their head, you know. Maybe they did. If you did, y'all hilarious.
Yeah, and then I mean, when we think about the time, like obviously these are older movies, so I think, you know, like we were less sensitive to as many things.
Yeah. We're very less sensitive. It's crazy because I talked to you about this, how the generation moves. Like, it always resets. Like, there was like, not our parents, but I'm pretty sure our parents' they were probably like, you know, sensitive. You know, when you watch TV back then, you didn't see all the sex we see now, you know?
No, the sexualization.
Yeah, you don't see all that on TV back then. And
you don't notice it either.
Yeah, you don't notice it either. And then, like, before us, you start noticing that stuff, you know? And then us, we're trying to, like, slow that stuff down and go back to how it was, because, you know, it wasn't like that back in TV.
Oh, my kids can't see this. They're too young.
Like, when TikTok has, like, a thing that says, like, what's something that you watched back then that you know it couldn't be aired now. If they have that, times have changed.
Yeah, and that's what the thing is. Like, times change. It's the same thing as fashion. Fashion changes, and cool. Y'all want to change stuff, just
You're going about it the wrong way.
don't be so toxic about it, man.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. But like, how do you guys feel about them canceling like cartoon characters specifically?
Bro, they tried to come at Master Roshi a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Like, he was a comic relief character that, like, he gets nosebleeds when he sees women.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, ain't that all old man? They was just trying to portray an old man. Comic relief, you know? Like, I understand, like, that isn't accepted now. I understand. That's not in cartoons now. But that cartoon was back, like, Dragon Ball Z was back made in the 90s. You know? That was that time. Why are you guys coming at a character from that time?
Like, what, 20, 30 years ago now?
Yeah, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you watch the new stuff now, he doesn't do that now.
No.
He doesn't. So, it's like, why are you picking and...
Picking and choosing.
Man, y'all frustrating.
If you're going to do it for everybody. If not,
frustrating.
don't do it at all.
Y'all
So,
worse
yeah.
than Tech Guy.
So yeah, I mean, I second that. But like another cartoon that, like, you know, as you know, it's coming up again. It's Space Jam 2, right? Space Jam 1 had specifically this character named Pepe Le Pew.
Bro, y'all saw what they did to Lola Bunny?
Dude, Lola Bunny got like mommed.
She got nerfed.
They said, no sexy, bad sexy.
Like, she said she got thick, she got mommed. So it's like, I mean, she grew up, I guess, right?
I guess, yeah.
like that's the only way, like, you know, they undersexual, or they stop over sexualizing Lola Bunny. But like, that was her gig, and that's why Bugs was all over her.
Yeah.
So that kind of like is interesting, because now he has to be on her for her game. So I guess more PC of them. But like Pepe Le Pew, he was this skunk. He was French, and I would say he played all of the stereotypes of a French guy. Like, he was, you know, really like, because he's from the love language, you know, country. So he's like, he's supposed to be the romantic type, and because he was a romantic type, he was always kissing up a girl's arm. He was always, you know, like, you know, talking sweet to them.
Can't do that in real life.
Yeah, of course not. But like,
It's a cartoon, though.
Yeah.
Can't do a lot of stuff in cartoons.
But in Space Jam, they completely took him out because of that, right? And when you think about this being Space Jam 2, and it being an entirely different script, because it's not Jordan, it's LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
They're all gonna have brand new lines, right? Why couldn't you just mature him, or like, you know, like,
Or tone it down.
not even tone it down, like keep him French, but like make him good French, if that's what you're gonna call
Yeah,
it.
that's what I meant. Like, he can still be French, but like not just loving up on everybody, doing that stuff.
And even if he was loving up on people, like, don't make it sexual. Like, make it like he's actually like more to like team camaraderie and stuff like that. So I think like Pepe, R.I.P. my dude, because you were a real one. I think another cartoon that was interesting was Speedy.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was the mouse with the sombrero and poncho.
Mm-hmm.
He also got, you know, or is trying to get canceled.
Yeah, they're trying to cancel him. I feel like it toned down now.
It always tones down and it comes back in a few months when they don't get their way. Yeah. Y'all throw tantrums when y'all don't get y'all way.
It's kind of like cancel culture is like, you know, being an adult toddler. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you don't agree with me? And then you're going to like
I don't like you.
I don't like crust.
get mad at that same thing months later.
But then it's like, okay, I'll go off that. Like, what people think, like, I feel like I hate when people think about, like, oh, I feel like that'll offend that person, so I think I have to cancel this. Like with the Washington football team. We'll go back to sports, sorry.
It's all good.
Like, they changed their, because it used to be Washington Redskins, if you didn't know that. They changed the name to the Washington football team because they thought the Redskins, having the team Redskins was being racist or something to Native Americans.
It's offensive, you know?
Offensive,
It's
yeah.
an offensive term. I'll give them that.
But then they did a poll with Native Americans, and it came back, most of them didn't find it offensive. So whose idea was it to change that team then?
Well, the 10%, I don't know the numbers. I'm just,
Yeah.
that 10% gets to, like, change everything, which is to me, when you cry about the 10% of people owning money, having so much power, how did you let this 10% of people change. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I agree. The name was offensive. Cool, change the team name. Whatever. But just when it's when it's not the majority, that's when I have a problem with it.
It's when people are talking for other people and not the majority. Because like, does it like for Latinos or Mexicans? Do you find it Speedy Gonzalez was offensive? Some might, some not. We don't know, because I don't know if they actually do take polls on this stuff.
Who actually takes polls?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
last
real
time
question.
I took a poll.
If you take a poll, who takes it serious?
Yeah, like whenever we got polls in like high school or whatever time we took polls, I never wrote what I actually thought.
I just thought it'd be funny to school the numbers.
Touche. Have you guys? I mean, I'm guessing you realize that like it's never the person who's directly affected by something that like is offended first. It's always someone else.
Yeah, it's always other people speaking for that person.
And then it's kind of coercion, and they're like, "Yo, aren't you offended by this?"
Mob mentality.
And then like,
Sure.
if you don't say yeah, you're the bad guy.
It's like,
If
how
you-
can you not be offended?
And I'm like, well, because I'm not. Like, it was funny. Like, if you say it was funny, then you're downplaying the severity of the situation. So I think these cancel culture people, they're coming for us next.
Come for me. I ain't scared of you.
Me either.
What y'all gonna take from me? Huh?
Your water bottle.
My high school degree?
The presidency. They'll take away your presidency.
Yeah, I'm not
Dang.
class president anymore? Wow.
It's all right. You don't got to worry about the tenure. You're good. But yeah, no. To wrap this up, when we think about cancel culture, again, we are all against it. Slightly different reasons, but we're against it. If you were for it, again, totally fine. Totally okay for you to be like for cancel culture. Just know your why. Like, don't just do it because the mob is doing it. And then you can also have your own opinions about every idea, because it's called having your own person. So,
And if you are for it, you have to stay for it. You can't flip flop. No flip flopping, because then you're just following.
Will said choose a side.
Yes. Thank you for translating.
So it's your boy Z. These are the homies. We are out.